Leslie Pickers here at Post 9. She's got more on what we should watch out for, fresh off an interview with JPMorgan COO. So what are we looking for?
Yeah, so there's this overarching question mark surrounding earnings about how banks will perform in this environment, one with a steady economy and faster rate declines. So far, though, the uncertainty has been beneficial, with the financial sector at a record close yesterday, off a little bit today, but market rates have been gaining despite the Fed's decision in September to cut 50 basis points, and that helps alleviate some of the downward pressure on floating rate loans that you might otherwise see in a cutting cycle. And the fact that this cutting cycle is happening because inflation is coming down and not because of a recession bodes well for things like capital markets and that rebound thanks to lower financing costs for M&A transactions. It's against this backdrop that investors will be focused on net interest income, the profitability metric for loan making. At an industry conference in mid-September, JPMorgan President and COO Daniel Pinto said NII expectations were too high at the time. That spooked the market a bit and sent the industry lower. I asked him in our sit-down yesterday whether the gap between expectations and reality has since been closed.
The reason why we passed that message to the market, because we saw that the analysts were a bit too optimistic on what to expect based on what the rate curve was showing at the time. So I think that deposits have stabilized too. So, but we saw that NII at the time was a bit too high in their expectations. So now they have adjusted some of it.
So you think that the expectations are now more acceptable?
They are more reasonable, in line with what we have, what I mentioned at Barclays, yeah.
I also asked him about succession, given that CEO Jamie Dimon calls Pinto his hit-by-the-bus successor. In other words, if there was an emergency, he would slide into that role. Pinto says he enjoys his current role, while noting they're testing a group of leaders that could one day be very capable of succeeding Dimon. You can catch the full interview on CNBC.com, guys.
You'll be all over the calls in the morning?
All over the calls in the morning. Yes, getting a good night's sleep tonight.
It's one of those Fridays.
One of those Fridays,
Thanks,
exactly.
Leslie.